I wouldn't even use that. So.
Call the meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. We'll go ahead and start with the second item, approve the agenda. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mary, second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Third item for business is the approve the consent calendar, which is the minutes of our last meeting and the payments of bills.
So moved.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Blake. All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Move on to the fourth item, the presentation of the annual Staples Fire Report by Fire Chief Cole Youngbauer.
Good evening. My name's Cole. I'm the fire chief here in Staples. So I've compiled our 2022 annual report. Throughout 2022, we had 24 firefighters. We're down to 23 now. We had a resignation at the beginning of this year. Then we are expecting to hire a few more this coming year. We had 1,851 hours of training in 2022. And then we expect to have much more than that in 2023 as our firefighters have started an EMR class, which is like a first responder class that they're all going to be certified in. We responded to 77 calls in 2022, which is down from 80 calls in 2021. Yeah, so I've compiled the numbers by incident type and then by townships. And then just put a brief description of all our activities that we did, our trainings, our fire prevention open house that we had. I think we had just under 600 kids come through our open house this year in October. And then going to the back is all our apparatuses that we currently have. So we're currently waiting for our equipment van that we ordered in December of 2021. It should be here hopefully next month. So we're excited to get that. Then we have our new Polaris Ranger that we're just putting the finishing touches on also. And that'll be ready hopefully in the next month or so. Any questions on our annual report?
How many firemen do you said you're down and you're gonna hire a couple, is there like a maximum number of
So
firefighters?
per our bylaws, 26 is our maximum. Yep.
You got how many, 6 in training right now?
Correct, yep. So they're at the fire station right now training. We have 6 new hires that are in Fire 1 and Fire 2. Right now, they'll be done in March. And then they'll join the rest of us with our medical training in March. And we'll get that done. That's an additional 40 hours for each fireman. And then I think it's 140 hours for their Fire 1, Fire 2, and hazmat that our 6 new guys are currently enrolled in now.
Any other questions for Cole?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Cole.
So, Mayor Murray, as part of that agenda item, the council needs to approve the officers.
Oh,
Actually, for
all right.
2023.
All right.
So obviously, we only had one change for our officers for 2023. Me as your chief, my first assistant chief is Wayne Story. Our second assistant chief, who does, so Wayne does all of our training, he plans all our trainings, is our first assistant chief. Second assistant chief is Scott Meach. He's in charge of all our maintenance of our equipment and apparatus. Our third assistant chief, Jamie Dozell, does all our fire prevention and stuff with the schools. Then our change this year is our safety officer. Jeff Berg was our safety officer, and Brandon Bruzewitz took over at the beginning of this month.
So we would entertain a motion to approve those officers.
So moved?
Motion by Mary, second by Roy. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd like to thank Cole for his leadership at the fire department, and, you know, the annual report that he puts together has a lot of great information, and, you know, for people like me, it has pictures, so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very nice.
Very nice. All right, we'll move on to item number 5, and that's to consider approval of a budget adjustment to increase account number 23.4330.4445 to $70,000 to account for the purchase of a fire department gas rig and J5 track machine.
So the 2023 budget within the Permanent Improvement Fund, which is Fund 23, didn't have the expense line items for these two items. So what we're proposing to do is to transfer the $70,000 out of the reserves, which are basically the charitable gambling reserves that the fire department donates to the city of Staples. And then the intent, the grass rig, and I'll let Cole talk about this a little bit, but there's a grass rig that the firemen have found out in Lead, South Dakota, that fits what they've been looking for, but they need to go all the way out there to look at it to verify it. So we would propose to send them out there if they like it, buy it, drive it back, rather than drive 650 miles one way.
Way out in South Dakota.
But, and then the J5 track machine is currently a DNR vehicle, so. But we didn't have that line item budgeted in Permanent Improvement Fund. The dollars are there, we just want to get it in the budget.
So entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the $70,000.
Motion by John, second by Doug. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And we'll move on to committee reports. We have a Park and Rec Advisory Board.
We met on January 10th, about 5:15. Gerald was in attendance, Getty, Gordon, Haber, Jewis, Miles, and Murray. I was there. Nelson recapped on the sales tax that got approved in November. That should start April 1st. I and Nelson went over a grad blast letter that we got to bypass fees for the community center to have grad blast. We had talked about doing a nonprofit rate instead of just giving it to them for free. I shared the spring and summer schedule that is hopefully going to get on the way and sent out here end of March, beginning of April, so people can start signing up. We talked about Carrie Lindgren doing Dower Lake recreational area for cross-country skiing, because Vintage is no longer allowing people to just go out there and do it. Nelson shared the update on the storm shelter that hopefully will get going here, hopefully soon this fall. We'll see. The irrigation was put in Wilson Park. We ordered 20 boulevard trees that will be put in this spring. And then we adjourned at 5:53.
Anybody have any questions for Lacy?
One item, and we didn't get it broken out on here, but the nonprofit or community organization fee that was recommended by the Parks and Recreation Board to set up, I would like to have action by the council to do that. The way we have it right now, we have a resident and non-resident fee. What the recommendation is from Parks and Rec is to have a nonprofit or community organization fee that's half of what that resident fee is for rentals.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roy makes a motion, John seconds. Any discussion? If no discussion, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Any other questions for Lacy or anything?
I haven't heard much about the ice skating rink, but that we went there tonight. That looks nice. I don't know if that's your deal, but the ice skating rink looks nice. The new warming house.
Yes,
So I just haven't heard much about it, and somebody needs to know it looks nice.
yeah. We use the warming house. It's in good place, good shape. Yeah, it's very nice, very, very nice.
Did we get something to sit on in there yet?
No, and I have got some potential connections on some rubber mats.
Okay.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows hockey, so I might be getting some rubber mats for it, so we'll see.
Well, if that doesn't work, I know of a rubber place that makes rubber products. So
There's another connection. We have rubber coming out of our ears.
that's right.
Right. I do have a question. Do you know if Kerry started out there at Dower yet?
I don't think he did.
He hasn't yet?
His wife's dad just passed away, so.
Oh.
And his father just passed away as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Dale, last week. Funerals, or the service will be in May sometime.
That's good to know, thanks. All right, I think that brings us to open forum. Anybody have anything for open forum? If not, we'll move on to city administrator's report.
I have a list. I've been working with Mike Anglin. I think I shared a little bit on this last meeting with Mike and also Andy Picker from High Tech, trying to figure out how we can get the cost of that storm shelter down so it fits into the FEMA Homeland Security Emergency Management grant budget that we got. Met with Mike and Mary Ives and their architect from Widseth to go over some preliminary layouts and at the manufactured home park, the old Canusela Vogel Park up there. Obviously they don't know for sure how it's going to be laid out yet. They're working on it. Scott and Joling and Felter came to that meeting just looking at utilities, where they are, what we're gonna need. Lead time on a lot of electrical stuff is so far out, the sooner the guys are able to get that kind of stuff ordered to serve potentially 14 homes up in there is important for us to get that stuff in here, so. Attended the downtown revitalization meeting. It was a good turnout. I'll put in a plug too for the article. Mark did a nice article in the paper on the downtown revitalization meeting. I know a number of people in the room were also there. Attended the Fire Department Relief Association meeting with the mayor for the your first go around for that, but it's an interesting group of guys. They get along well together and seem to have a lot of fun. So, continue to work with Bolton and Mink to try and get the wastewater treatment plant project closed out. And I think what we're proposing to do is basically send a letter along with the check with that retainage in there as final payment, and that if Magny wants to come back at us with something, then the ball will be in their court. But it's been pretty much a one-way conversation with them for the last 10 months, so I want to get that closed out. One thing I wanted to talk with the council, shoot, Cole left. Cole was the other one I was gonna talk to about this. With this Microsoft 365 conversion from our Exchange-based email server, the IT guys from CTC IT, they do not want to be forwarding emails from the ci.staples.mn.us emails to personal email accounts automatically. And I know there's a number of people that have that set up. And it's basically a security thing. If somebody hacks your personal email, they can get back through into the city email. So I think what we're probably gonna do is just go with the city emails, but then work with everybody to get that set up so you'll get those emails on your phone. You know, like my work phone, I can get my personal emails and city emails all, at the touch of one button. So there's ways to do it, but they are strongly recommending that we do not forward from the city email accounts to personal emails.
So it'll change from what Tara sends to us with the updated agendas as well?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, every meeting day, we get a final updated agenda
Both of our emails.
to our email. It goes to both, yeah, but
Yeah.
I get it on my personal one. I will no longer get that until
Well,
we set that up.
Yeah, you can set that up. And with 365, you can also do the online where you just log onto the Outlook feature on there. So there's multiple ways to
It
do
won't
that.
come windmill.dat or whatever that I can't
Not
open.
come from,
Because that's what I get for Public Works and for EDA when that gets sent out. I can't open any of those.
yeah, and Ron has had that, I think at one time or another, Roy has had that problem. I
Yeah,
don't know
we
if
have
you-
a-
have you?
Windmill?
Yeah.
Windmill?
Windmill.
Windmill that,
I get it that way, but I don't. It doesn't come to my personal one, it doesn't forward. The email forwards to my personal email,
Yeah,
but the attachment doesn't. You can't get the attachment. You can't open it. But that probably is because I don't have, I've got it on my phone, whatever it is, windmill data or whatever. I've got it on my phone and it works on my phone, but I've never put it on my personal computer, the opener for it.
no.
There's
Yeah.
you gotta download an app.
Well, I would anticipate with this going through the city email stuff that all of that
because
goes.
anything Tara sends, I can open
Would-
at home or on my phone, but I can't from Melissa or from Scott. Always comes in as so that
Well, I
he
haven't-
sends it PDF and I can open it.
Yeah, and I hadn't really had a problem, and all of a sudden with Ron, send him an attachment, and it goes,
You have to download the opener for it. There's an opening program for that windmill DAT. You have to download that program.
Like an app, you mean? An app that allows you to.
An app or whatever, Not that I know a damn thing about it.
Well, you might know more than their IT people, guys, at all. It's been a frustrating deal because, there doesn't seem to be consistency to it. And when there's not consistency, it's hard to track down what it is because, her outgoing emails are going through the same server that mine are. So, I don't know. Anyway, so just wanted to make you aware of that. I would guess we're maybe a couple of weeks away from that migration to 365. So we'll give everybody a heads up when that happens.
So we will get it on this?
Yeah, well, we'll get it set up on that, but we can get it set up on your phone, on your cell phone too. So it depends on how you want to get it.
Because if I'm gone, I use my cell phone. I don't haul the city iPad. No, I'd have 3 of them to haul the hospital, the city, and my own. No thanks.
Well, I'm not gonna say what, it's an IT challenge. So anyway, as we're into the middle of February, the Essentia Clinic stuff is starting to move forward as they get further along on their planning process. We're starting to get more and more questions for zoning and access and different things like that. So I think they're getting closer and closer to submitting final plans, site plans, and building plans for permanent. So that will be also happening this spring. I was gonna mention to Mary Jo and Blake and, you know, Ron or John, if you wanna go, the League of Minnesota Cities is putting on an Elected Leader Institute, March 3rd and 4th down in Alexandria. And then there's some follow-up stuff, I think online, that, you know, it's kind of a whole course of stuff. So if you're interested in that, let us know and we'll get you registered. Tara checked, and it sounds like the Department of Revenue has all of our sales tax information set up and ready to go April 1st. So that is a good thing. And then, last but not least, just wanted to, I think everybody on the council probably is aware of the passing of Ed Perry, but wanted to extend our condolences to Ed's family. Ed served on the council starting in 1976 for 26 years. Wow. So he was heavily involved in Development Corporation and what now is Public Works Commission. And so very community-oriented individual. So he will be missed. That is all I have tonight, unless there's questions.
Second.
Motion by Roy, second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.